Hello. Hi, Dr. Amanda Lynn here, coming from you from my little guest room here. Don't mind the possible sounds you might hear in my home. But I wanted to get out a video. I haven't done it for a little while. I wanted to share just some basic things, nothing I have planned down, just what I talk about every day with my patients in and out. And something that just always boggles me that my women get so excited about, and that is our thyroid health and the little basic things we need to do every day to make sure it's getting what we want. Thyroid right here. I want you all to look at your thyroid. Look at your throat right here. How does that feel? Does it feel like there's a lump there, something boggy, something that shouldn't be there? Check that out. That's important. Your own doctors, MDs aren't even feeling this. Rarely have I heard of that done to feel that. That inflammation there is really important. As soon as that is going on, anti-inflammatory diet, 100%. You need to get off gluten, number one. Been able to take down some very scary goiters, all kinds of multinodular thyroid goiters, all with just some, well, my tricks. But, it really doesn't, it can be easy. It's something I can definitely help people with. But, of course, here you only get the safe stuff. Did you know that your thyroid requires 250 micrograms a day of iodine to produce all the T4? The T4 is what gets distributed through your body from the thyroid. T3 is the actual active component. One of your organs, usually it's the liver, needs to activate and dump off one of those iodines. It grabs one of those iodines and then you're free. And a lot of cells in the body will do that. Liver is just well known for activating most of our hormones. So actually looking at all those points is important with your testing. TSH, free T4, and or total T4 and free T3 to really see what's being told by the brain to the thyroid, what the thyroid's actually putting out, and then what the rest of the body's actually doing with it. There can be steps all along the way here where nutritional needs are not being met that are required. That's where just doing a whole bunch of iodine might not be the best idea. Sometimes that can bounce back at you and create a goiter because now it's producing a bunch of T4, but we don't know and don't have all the cofactors to make T3. And tyrosin is the T part, and that's a really important amino acid that if your thyroid doesn't need all of it, your brain will make dopamine from, which is our awesome hormone. We all want dopamine. Don't want that to go down on you. So if your thyroid's going down, your dopamine probably is too because of this lack of a good amount of tyrosin. Tyrosin, the tyro part is Greek for cheese. So it's in a lot of your good European goat. These kind of cheeses are the only ones I ever really recommend. Hard cheeses, this kind of thing. So if you've already been told to stay away from dairy, don't feel that you need to go to it for that. But if you are able to handle it, cottage cheese is one of the highest natural sources of tyrosin. Otherwise, you can always make sure you're getting it along with your iodine. Of course, don't start any real big thyroid thing without checking in with your healthcare providers. So 250 micrograms is what your thyroid needs, but your brain does like some. It's very detoxifying to the whole body. Breast is very important. It uses not the iodide, but the iodine form. And your body can move those back and forth. It can usually convert those as needed. And the pancreas, the skin, we all want iodine. So at least 250 micrograms if you want your thyroid to be happy, but your thyroid might not get it. Your skin might just suck it up and say, nope, I get it today. So that's where I titrate my women up, especially if we're not having 98.6 degrees in the morning. It's a temperature. And then there's other little tricks about an iodine patch test that I teach in another more extensive Facebook Live I did that I will download and repurpose here soon. But this is a lot of these things I have been able to be in close mentorship to a degree. I mean, but I've got his number. We check in all the time. But for years with Dennis Wilson, a MD who created Wilson syndrome, which is the inability to activate T4, T3 from T4. He's definitely brought out some amazing formulations, worked with some of my favorite herbalists on some things for PCO, and is really the only one out there with some specific things for Hashimoto's, and isn't scared like a lot of us, Dr. Brownstein included, as well as just most people who understand the physiology of our body and how much we need iodine. And we aren't afraid to go up high. A Japanese woman will have 12 grams a day. We're scared of 250 micrograms. It's definitely a little difference in our diet too, for sure. I can't get a lot of people to eat seafood. They don't like it. They don't want to do the sea kelp. They don't want to sprinkle with nori or have more sushi. So, and the sea vegetables are higher in the iodine, but the fish will have it as well. And you'll get your omega-3s that way, but you also might be getting some other things, right? So, but the food is definitely a level of importance in getting that in your diet, of course, but some days we're going to need to utilize some supplementation, especially for those who just don't like seafood. So, did you know that you need to be at 98.6, especially if you want your metabolism to be up? If you're running at, I have some patients down at 97.6, 96.8. These are terribly low. You will be so sluggish. Your brain won't want to work. And we gotta bump that up, get some heat going in your cells. Start, probably it was really hard to have a workout, I wonder. So Dennis Wilson has a book out. It's a new thyroid book out. I'll get it here soon. I'll show you guys. But he taught me a couple of the exercises that are in it that help go back and reboot the thyroid to do what it's doing. And these are just simple things that the body does anyway, but we don't do very much. One is to get cold, to shiver. Yes, shiver therapy. You're seeing more of it, right? You're seeing people plunging. Laird Anderson started getting his group of athletes to start plunging for long periods of time in cold water. That kicks on more mitochondrial fuel cells in the bodies of the cells. It will actually create more mitochondria. Amazing. So this is huge for resetting and rebooting the parasympathetic all the way over to the endocrine system. Much more in between there. But a good shiver will help reset things, get your thyroid kicking on and working like, I gotta warm us up. It's cold out. So we are all living in too warm of houses anymore with central heating. And, back in the day, your little cabin had a little bit more, some breeze and fresh air coming through. So get yourself outside and get in nature. That is a natural way to decompress your cortisol. Not too many natural, well, a lot of nature kind of based ways, but that requirement to shut off cortisol isn't really in food. Phosphatidylserine is the only thing you can put in your mouth to help quench the cortisol for all basic purposes. But nature has been shown to do that as well, because you can trigger it with your own mind, right? We can do anything with that, our mindset of healing. Hence why placebo does work amazingly, especially if you add a little dash of hope. Hope is huge. So hopefully it gave you all a little bit of hope about how simple things can be. Get a little shiver in And the last thing on Dr. Dennis Wilson's exercises is stretching in the morning, getting up and like doing a really good yawn and stretch and get your day started. That'll help give that body the wake up calls it's used to of going, oh, it's time for us to wake up and get going. See if we can help save the adrenals a little bit. Very important backup system for the thyroid as well as the sex hormones. So I think you guys know I look at all those things, which is why I've been said to be very good with thyroid. It's because I'm really good with the whole holding the whole endocrine system up and looking at her pals that keep her going and just the basic nutrients that we're usually missing. So, little shout out to ocean nutrients, trace minerals we're all missing, because that helps our collagen. For really awesome, complete mineral complex, Designs for Health has a really nice one, and I have a link to them on my new website that'll be launched here in just a few weeks. Things will be easier to find, like my web page, my YouTube page. My links into Instagram and to join Facebook and Facebook groups, because I have one for Marfan syndrome specifically, or hypermobility for Ehlers-Danlos across the globe there. So I hope this is all helpful. Here comes my little buddy here. Tell me time's up.
Mom, can you give me some food, please?
Oh, some more food. Charlie's going through a little growth spurt here. How do we keep up with these kids eating everything, huh? Luckily, he eats pretty much anything I give him. It's awesome like that. Train them young. Moms, if you want to know what good foods to eat, go grab my guide on how to cook to strengthen up your connective tissue over at calypsonaturalclinic.com. CALYPSO Natural Clinic. And a little side, Calypso is the only native orchid here in the Pacific Northwest. That's where I got my little name from. Not the although the goddess of the ocean's definitely right up my alley too. All right, take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye.